Hello and welcome to the second episode of our WatchTrippin 2018 adventure. Today is going to be like a Geneva-centered one because we will visit the Patek Philippe Museum, URWERK, Agenhor and the Villereich family, but also the Geneva Watchmaking School for some special experience over there. But also a special experience as we'll have a nice raclette with the teacher and the masters over there. Enjoy!
The Patek Museum was a good foundation. So it provided a sort of a historical lineage of where watchmaking originated, with examples along the way that kind of describe the detail of the complications and innovations that occurred throughout the history of watchmaking in Switzerland. So it gave us kind of an ability to understand better what we were seeing as we visited the manufacturers, to understand sort of the origins and the histories of where these mechanical complications, something as simple that we take for granted today as the minutes or the seconds, where that came from, where chronographs have come from, and some of the little bit more unknown details about the creators of these complications.
The artwork on some of those really old pieces was incredible. Especially having seen that in some of the more recent, I'll call them labs, not factories, the people weren't just using microscopes to do their work, they were using video monitors. They were really zoomed in, and that those old artisans did that to such level of detail, the artwork, I mean, with none of that is amazing.
There are not only Patek Philippe watches inside, they have Breguet and then other brand, and whole history about watchmaking, not just, okay, like, how do I say, promotion their product.
You know, the cool thing about URWERK is that it's a brand that is instantly recognizable. And for a young brand, I think, you know, it's amazing. When you see URWERK, you know exactly that it's an URWERK. So I think to be able to see a little bit of how they design the watches and manufacture the watches and to learn the story behind URWERK was fascinating.
Really excited that we went to URWERK first. I think they're one of my favorite brands. It's so cool that they're doing something new and innovating, and yet being true to their satellite concept with every new watch.
Agenhor was amazing. Honestly, you know, it's funny when you see from a lot of marketing standpoint, you see a lot of brands and their marketing messages, and Agenhor is sort of the craftsmen behind the brand. So they're really a special place. When we went in, we had a barbecue together. We sat down, we had lunch together.
And it was also surprising that it was a father and his two sons. It was a family business. But yeah, the age or the lack of age, really across all the brands and all of our destinations, I thought was really surprising. Because as someone said, I think earlier today, the image we have is the old man on the table with the gray beard and thick glasses, and it's not that way at all. It's young kids in their headphones. It
was interesting because to see them take a completely new concept for me personally, the chronograph, the Agenhor, was phenomenally just incredibly interesting to see from a design standpoint. They had the CAD drawings up and they were able to show us exactly how they designed it and how they conceptualized it and how they were able to take a dream that took more than 10 years from an idea to full production and to make it a reality.
So we wanted to have a chronograph with the indication in the center, the indication of the measured time in the center. On a 60 scale, everybody is used to read on a 60 scale, like for the minutes and the seconds, but here you have hour, minute and second of the chronograph. So basically, this is the center of the chronograph, and this is what there are like 140 pieces, components only here.
Great.
You have this wheel that will come against this one. So all the clutch is rotating on the yellow second wheel. Okay? So look, it engages the chronograph and the chronograph is on. So the wheel is turning in 1 minute. The cam is turning in 1 minute. When we get to the top, the sector here is here and suddenly wants to fall down. When it falls down, the little finger here will hit the star, the yellow star, and the yellow star has 60 teeth. So every time it hits it, the minute is jumping on 1/60th. And underneath the wheel, the star here, you have a second cam that is, of course, turning in 60 minutes too. Okay, so every minute it will make a jump of a 60th until it will get to the top. It's 59 minutes of the chronograph. And the next minute, this will fall down and hit the purple star. And this is what will make the hour jump from one step.
And once again, just taking something that's not new in watchmaking and doing something new with it is really amazing.
Their name is not on the brand. Yeah, so you're supplying something for someone else to use your ideas. So, and they're really, really proud on doing that, on being one of the best like suppliers and on doing really different complications and helping like other companies to succeed and to fulfill their dreams. Like when a designer creates one of the designs that, I don't know, the lovers bridge, that they meet each other and they made this happen, and it's really cool.
The one thing that's going to stand out in everyone's mind is the watchmaking school.
So actually, I really didn't know that. Those montres d'école, I mean, they have to work really seriously on it because then they are going to be like Geneva hallmarked.
They are Geneva hallmarked.
They are Geneva hallmarked, yeah. So that's...
Every student to graduate has to have Geneva hallmark.
Yeah. Yeah, that's quite something, yeah.
Wow. It's hard to explain to your viewers. You know, if I was sitting at home and I was trying to understand what it would be like, I would think it would be a small location in the mountains somewhere. But it in fact is a school. It's a real working technical school, and it's very hands-on. You know, for students who are taking mathematics classes at the beginning of the week, they're sitting there at their bench working to perform anglage or perform workmanship on very minute, tiny pieces. And it certainly gave me a real appreciation, hands-on, of how difficult this craftsmanship is. Oh my God, it's very difficult.
It was so hard. We took a lot of work. I put a fair amount of time into a really bad product.
So that when you see the detailing on a fine watch, such as the caliber 89 and the number of complications that were there that we saw at the Patek Philippe Museum, it's unimaginable the passion and dedication that's needed to be able to spend hours at your bench working on a single part to make it perfect. And I loved it.
I kind of like appreciate, like maybe in the future, I have a mechanical watch, I will appreciate more because you know how hard and how much time they put in the watchmaking and then like polish all the components, and they woke up like 5:20 and they start at 7 o'clock and until 5 o'clock polish all the components.
So after I polish, it will be like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I need to do.
Yes.
Okay. All this part, right?
Yeah. All of these parts.
Okay.
From here to here.
Okay, also this part.
Yeah. More importantly, we get to meet the students. And they were our personal coaches.
The student who actually was teaching me was an award winner at GPHG and as a student, and it was wonderful to be trained by somebody so passionate and so interested in watchmaking. And it's funny because as I'm working, she really worked hard with me to try and help me to understand the right technique and the right angles that I needed to be working at, and to understand just the sensitive touch it requires to be able to perform these operations, these technical operations.
They create their own tools, and I try to create my own little tool, and it's done by like a little machine, and you think it's going to be easy. You think you're just going to press and it's going to be perfect. And then when you do it, it's like you need to know how strong you're going to push it, how you're going to do it. And even the students, she tried doing one part and she made a mistake. It was not perfect, the one that she did.
And you can actually see the concentration on the faces of the people on the benches, watching their hands and the art that they produce. You really don't get it. And you have to see it with your own eyes.